create our piston today. That's going to be the piece that connects between the cams and whatever pieces we have of artwork that are going to be moving up and down. So, Automata Piston. All right, we're going to have to do this in a couple different pieces, which means we're going to have to take probably 3 or 4 pictures today to make sure we've got everything. First one, we're going to start a new sketch. We're going to do it on our front plane. We're going to start with the center point rectangle, and we're going to draw a rectangle right in the center here. And this rectangle is going to be 0.35 inner, 0.35 inner, so a little bit bigger than the center of our cams. We're going to come back and we're going to use our circle tool, and I want to line it up, and I want it to be on the center point at the bottom of our square. So I'm going to be right on the bottom center of our square. I want it to line up. I'm going to draw a random circle. It doesn't matter what size it is. And I want to make sure my dimension is 0.35. 0.35. So let me turn the dimension tool off. I hit escape there. I'm going to pull this dimension out so I can see it, because these are going to be things that you need to turn into me. You can take a screenshot here, because this is one of the dimensions that I need to see what's going on. We're now going to extrude this. So let me hit isometric, zoom back in, green check mark, and I'm going to extrude. I'm going to extrude the whole sketch. I want it to be 0.35 because we're trying to make it almost cube-like, but I don't want it to be blind. I want it to be right in the center, so I'm going to make it symmetric, and that's going to make it line up directly in the center when we go to the top view. Green check mark. Now when I go to the top view, you'll notice that the square is lined up directly in the center. We're going to do a new sketch. Clicking back isometric, we're going to do a new sketch right on the top of this shape that we've created. Right on the top there, change it to our top view. We're going to use the center point square, and we're going to draw the bar for our piston. So I'm going to do a random square. It's going to be 0.25 inner, 0.25 inner, and that lines up with the thickness of our cams. Green check mark, isometric, and now I'm going to extrude. I want to extrude this square that we just drew, and I want its height to be 2.25 inches. 2.25 inches. A green check mark, and there we have our piston. And we need to give it some color, so I'm going to make it kind of look like wood for me. So I'm going to use one of these yellows here that I think kind of look like wood. Green check mark. I'm going to come back in, and on the bottom here, I'm going to change that to a kind of a light purple, just so I can be able to see a difference between it. And I'm going to do this first extrusion and make the whole first extrusion that color. Green check mark. One of the things that's going to make this a little bit easier for you is if the bottom curve is observable, so you know what you're grabbing later. So I'm going to give this kind of a light blue color so that I can easily see it later on and be able to grab it quickly and easily. So there we go. So you've got 3 pictures you need to take for me. The first one is going to be sketch number 1. You're going to take that screenshot, green check mark. The second one is going to be sketch number 2. I'm going to zoom in, make sure that I can see those numbers. You need to move this stuff around so that I can see it. That's going to be your picture number 2. And finally, your finished extruded piston. And that's going to be your third picture. So you need to turn in at least 3 pictures to me on this particular piece. Good luck.